I have come to the realization that Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is basically just a gimmick mode. The whole gist of the mode is based on false pretenses and a false sense of excitement and engagement that players, as they start to dive deeper into the mode, quickly realize that the mode basically has no point. It's a nothing mode in my opinion. Now, I posted a big review when Modern Warfare 3 Zombies first released, and I talked about it pre-release as well, being very skeptical, and I really feel vindicated in a lot of what has ended up happening post-launch, but I'm not happy about this by any means. Of course, I want Call of Duty Zombies to succeed. I want it to be the best possible mode, the most engaging mode. It's completely in my benefit, considering the fact that I'm literally a Zombies YouTuber. If Zombies is doing well, my channel's doing well, I get more views, etc, etc. As you know, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies' post-launch has taken a very rocky turn because Season 2 has no content at launch. The only content that is coming is in Season 2 Reloaded. Season 1 Reloaded only had a Warlord boss, and it is rumored right now that Treyarch are essentially off the project. Now, I'm sure there's still some developers overseeing the project, etc, but it seems like a lot of other studios are taking the brunt of the work, such as Ravensoft, High Moon, as well as Infinity Ward developers. Now, it seems like a lot of the marketing for this mode has been misleading because it was branded as a Treyarch project, but it does seem like these other studios were also assisting with the project all along, and it wasn't just solely a Treyarch thing. And I guess this does make sense considering that the very foundations of this mode are built off of DMZ, and Infinity Ward did work on that, so it was obvious that Infinity Ward clearly had a lot of input on this mode from the very beginning. And whilst it seems like Treyarch were managing the project, it's clear that they were only attributed as the main developer, with not really much mention of the other developers, although they were briefly mentioned as assisting, but they weren't highlighted as being that significant, is due to the fact that, of course, Treyarch sells. When someone hears Treyarch Zombies, they're more inclined to buy it and be interested in it. And I'm not really sure how the other developers are going to manage the rest of the seasons, considering the fact that Microsoft, after acquiring Activision Blizzard for $70 billion, have laid off an absolute ton of staff, with studios such as High Moon now losing like 30% of their staff, and they were already a small studio anyway, so I'm not sure how they're going to cope for the future seasons, but it does seem like all of the future seasons, judging from what we know about Season 2 and 3, are going to follow pretty much the same pattern as Season 1, where there's going to be a new Dark Ether Rift, which is just going to be on a new in quotation marks, since they're all just reused sections from Hamazra, section in the Dark Ether. There's then going to be another fetch quest with every single season to re-enter the Dark Ether for an Elder Sigil version that's a lot harder. There's going to be new schematics coming every season, and that's pretty much it, with no perks on the horizon or enemy types. And it seems like the main reason for this is because Treyarch, of course, have a new Call of Duty game coming out this year, Black Ops Gulf War, the sequel to Black Ops Cold War set in the 90s. It's going to be following directly on from where we were left on that cliffhanger on The Forsaken. This game has been worked on for a very long time, but it seems like even with that long development time, because Treyarch have been working on other projects such as Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, Vanguard Zombies, Ranked Play, they haven't been able to fully focus on this game, which is unfortunate. And it seems like because of the layoffs, and also the fact that apparently there's going to be a slightly earlier release for this game, it's going to be launching in October. The last time Treyarch released a game in October, Black Ops 4, it didn't really turn out well and released very buggy, so most likely due to the slightly early release date and due to the fact that they're also apparently going to be making round-based again 2 years in a row for Call of Duty 2025, they need all hands on deck for that game. So I'm happy that they're going to be focusing on that now, but I just think that Treyarch have just completely wasted their time working on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. If they were only going to really properly support it for Season 1, the rest of the seasons are just repeats of Season 1 with other studios mostly doing the work for that, and nothing really substantial is going to be coming. This was a complete waste of developmental resources that all could have and should have gone into COD 2024 Zombies and making it the best possible experience, ensuring that that mode has substantial post-launch content and there's no droughts like we're seeing with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Even Black Ops Cold War, which I loved, Cold War Zombies still had some droughts in the post-launch content, especially after Outbreak release. There was such a big gap between Outbreak and then Mauer de Toten, and yes, of course, we had new Easter eggs on Outbreak and new updates to Outbreak in the meantime, but fans didn't really seem like it was enough. They need to not make that same mistake again with COD 2024, and so any of the development time that went into Vanguard and went into Modern Warfare 3 should have just gone into this. And I'm also worried because, like I said before, they're also making Call of Duty 2025, so even if it has a really solid launch, they're probably going to be dragged off the project like we've seen with Modern Warfare 3 during its post-launch cycle, to then have to make content for COD 2025 in a short period of time. So I don't know how they're going to manage that, to be honest. It just means content is going going to be very spaced out over 2 years instead of it all just being in one game and making sure that one game is as best as possible. But regardless of all of these issues that have affected Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and not allowed it to be the best possible mode it could be, for example, if Treyarch were just focusing on that mode, if they never had COD 2024 Zombies on the horizon or 2025 Zombies, God knows how good this mode could have been. And likewise, God knows how good COD 2024 Zombies could be if they didn't have to focus on this, because even if it does end up being a really good launch, and even if the mode is amazing, and even if they do support it well post-launch, imagine if it could be even better if no focus was then drawn into Modern Warfare 3. Before we continue with the rest of the discussion, I first have a very awesome message to share with you, and then we'll jump right back into it. Stay tuned. This is the perfect gaming controller that's not just sleek, but also affordable with bonus features, perfect for shooting games. Enhance your gaming experience to the next level with the GameSir G7 SE wired controller. Precision meets performance. Officially licensed by Xbox, this controller works seamlessly with the Xbox Series X/S, Xbox One, and Windows 10/11 for PC users. Experience ultimate control with precision-tuned Hall effect analog triggers and responsive membrane buttons. Every move, every action perfectly executed. You can also customize your gaming style with swappable paint-friendly faceplates. You can create a controller that's as unique as you are. There's no more unintended inputs. With the back button quick latches, they ensure you stay in control of every gaming session. You can switch control profiles on the fly for ultimate versatility, adapt to any gaming scenario with ease. It has a wired connection with a detachable 3-meter USB-C cable, which ensures a stable connection and hassle-free setup. Just plug in and play. Dive deeper into customization with the GameSir Nexus software to unleash your full gaming potential. Plus, for new members, you get 1 month free of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to unlock a world of gaming adventures. If you are ready to level up your gaming experience, you can click the link in the description to get your GameSir G7 SE wired controller now. Don't miss out on this opportunity, and I want to give a huge thank you to GameSir, who have kindly sent me this controller to try out for you and test it for myself. I've had so much fun using it. Typically, I'm mainly using a PlayStation controller, so it's good getting used to an alternative design. Regardless of these issues, regardless of the fact that the mode is receiving very poor post-launch support, it has me wondering, would the mode stand on its own regardless? And I personally don't think so. And this is why I think that Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is a gimmick mode, because we are so reliant on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies being a big success post-launch on the guise that it receives really regular updates. And I understand that's the point, because Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is an extraction shooter mode, and I think this is the problem with extraction shooters. If it doesn't receive consistent post-launch content, the mode just quickly falls apart and people realize that it's just a hollow shell. And that's what Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is, and the biggest highlight of that is the schematic system. Many people were really engaged with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies on launch, and I think it was largely in part due to the schematics because of their RNG aspects. People love to gamble apparently, and they love RNG apparently, or at least temporarily. And I think it's quite ironic because in the past, when we've had RNG aspects in Call of Duty, people have hated them. People complained about them so much with past Zombies Easter eggs or past rewards that were RNG based in Zombies, or even in multiplayer with supply drops, etc. And now Modern Warfare 3 Zombies' entire drawing point is the schematic system, which is just RNG. And that's when Modern Warfare 3 Zombies quickly falls apart. So many people had so much fun on launch, unlocking all of these schematics, and then after a couple weeks, once they managed to get them all, they were like, wait, there's actually nothing to do in this mode. And that's why Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is entirely a gimmick mode. The schematic system is just a gimmick, and that is it. I think the biggest draw with the schematic system is being able to spawn in with things that you want from the get-go, such as perks, wonder weapons, or some of the better stuff that has been added and coming in Season 2 Reloaded. But this system is entirely a gimmick system, and I think this is also largely in part due to the fact that Treyarch have only got a 10 stash limit. For those players who are doing the glitch with Tombstone so you can have an infinite stash, it becomes probably less of a gimmick to you because you then have the infinite ability to be able to use all of these items that you've grinded. But for those players who are playing the mode legitimately, you are limited to that very finite 10 stash, and it's just way too limited, especially when we've literally had new schematics come in Season 1, they're adding more in Season 2 Reloaded. Why are they not increasing the stash to correspond with when more items are added? It doesn't make any sense. I think if the stash was a lot larger, then the schematic system would be less of a gimmick. I still think it would kind of be a gimmick because it's all based around RNG. That's why people were having so much fun on launch, because it was essentially just like a slot machine. They were just getting temporary enjoyment out of getting rewards, and then they get them, and well, it's basically nothing. We can barely even use any of them because the stash is so limited. Now, the stash was way too low on launch, just being 10, and now they've added more. The fact they still haven't increased it is absurd, but it was already too little anyways, and they still haven't increased it when they've added more. Now, Trek have released an official statement saying that they're currently monitoring the stash increase, and they say the reason why it's so finite is because they purposely want it to be finite because they want us to be strategical when we decide which items to bring into the game. But that's just a BS excuse. Just sounds like stupid Infinity Ward's reasoning for why there's no red dots on the minimap in Modern Warfare 2, and then they brought them back. Sledgehammer Games luckily brought them back from Modern Warfare 3, and we see how much better of an experience it is. But yeah, this excuse doesn't make sense, and even if they want a finite amount of schematics to use, and they want you to be able to choose which to bring in, the reason why it falls apart is A, they've added more schematics, so why have they not increased the size? And B, the schematics range from, you know, completely terrible ones to good ones. I think they should have a separate stash for different rarities of schematics. You know, for example, you can have the legendary ones, the really good ones, rare ones, common ones, ultra common ones. A system similar to how the Gobblegums were in Black Ops 3, where they had different rarities, and, you know, you can bring, let's say, 10 of the uncommon ones into your game, 5 of the rare ones into your game, and then only 3 of the legendary ones into your game, etc. You get what I'm trying to say? They should have a system like that. That makes a lot more sense, and you can be a lot more decisive with which ones you bring in. But unfortunately, you just end up having no inventory to be able to hold anything. And the thing is, they have these really long cooldowns on all of the schematics, and this again is why it's a complete gimmick. They have these long cooldowns, and honestly, in theory, I'm not against these long cooldowns because I think that they are necessary, at least to some degree. I think some should be shortened, but you don't want to be able to spawn in with everything every single game. But the reason why the cooldowns don't make any sense anyways is because you don't even have the inventory to keep crafting them. You can come back on every 2 days, for example, and craft a ray gun, but then you're not actually going to have the inventory space to even keep them, so you can't even build them up. So what's even the point of the cooldown if even when the cooldown's expired, you can't even craft them because there's no room in your goddamn inventory? And now they've added so many more schematics, there's even less room. The stash needs to be way over 30, honestly. Like I said, I think they should do some sort of tier system with different rarities of schematics or different usefulness of schematics. Either way, it's a complete gimmick. And Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, yeah, it's just a joke mode. It's a complete joke. It's a nothing mode. It's a mode designed to waste your time. That is it. That's why they're literally adding acquisitions into the battle pass and into bundles. It's just designed to waste your time. They're adding pay for advantage bundles as well. Oh, it's just frustrating to see this play out. I think there's a way they can introduce the schematic system in a good way, and it's rumored that COD 2024 Zombies is going to bring back Gobblegums, so I wonder if that's how they're going to do it. They just need to have a direct currency you can earn, similar to Liquid Divinium we had in Black Ops 3, and then you can just buy these Gobblegums that essentially work just like schematics that you can then bring into your game, but have a way bigger stash for them. They can still have cooldowns on them, but you should be able to directly buy them instead of it just being RNG, or at least only have some as RNG, or you can get them from RNG or directly buying them via some sort of Liquid Divinium currency. Not real money though, and definitely it shouldn't be via a loot box system similar to Black Ops 3. Now, to prove Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is just a joke mode, a gimmick mode, literally all of the content I see on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, almost no one's talking about the story. I seem to be pretty much one of the only few people. There's a very finite amount of people talking about the story, and all I am seeing is just people posting glitches with the tombstone, posting how to grind schematics, or the best weapons in the game, and that is it. That just literally shows you how much of a joke this mode is and how little depth it has when that's all the content being made. With round-based, with Outbreak even, there's so much opportunity for content to be made, and all you're seeing is the best weapons and grinding schematics. That's it. All people care about is grinding these goddamn RNG schematics. So dumb, so dumb. And I'm not hating on the creators making this type of content. It makes sense. It's the fault of the mode why this type of content is the only content that is popular, not the fault of the creators actually making it. You know, I definitely pondered on the idea of doing it myself, but I realized I just didn't really want to play the mode much myself because I didn't really enjoy it. If I did enjoy it, I would be probably making this type of content, but like I said, and like I've established, I think that this mode is just a gimmick, and that's why it fell flat on its face so quickly, because people had fun at the start because they were misled and latched on by the gimmick, and that's what a gimmick is. It's just there for your short-term attention, and then they realized quickly, wait, this is just a gimmick, this is a pointless thing, and that's why they stopped caring about it, and that's why the player base has dropped off so quickly, and that's why Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is receiving no support anymore, because clearly the player base is so low. And maybe that would change if the stash was increased, but I digress. And I think the schematics are literally designed this way because it's just a way for Activision to try and artificially extend the average playtime. Because it is RNG based, you need to to just basically grind the same thing, grind contracts over and over again, which is very repetitive to eventually get them all, artificially extending the playtime you would normally play. And as soon as you realize that it's just an artificial, baseless grind, you are done with it. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that the schematic system is something there for false, artificial, short-term satisfaction, but in the long run, you realize that it's just a dud. It's not really a long-time grind, and it's all dependent on RNG, which is why, like I said, it's just an artificial grind, completely orientated around luck. And that's the entire point of the mode, RNG. And this is why players are dropping off. And that's why Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is such a shallow mode. It's a hollow shell of what COD Zombies used to be. It has almost no depth in terms of atmosphere, there's almost none on the map. The storyline is really interesting with the seasonal cutscenes, the story missions with each of the acts we've been getting. Those are really awesome, but the radio's pretty bland for the most part. There's not really much depth, there's not really many side Easter eggs, there's the ones for the perks, but then you realize, wait, they're kind of pointless anyways because, you know, they spawn quite often and you can just get them with schematics anyways and acquisitions. And I think that's why Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has fallen apart so quickly, because of its reliance on updates to keep it engaging. Because as soon as people got all of those schematics, there was no reason to keep on playing. And if we compare it to round-based zombies, there's a very clear objective with round-based zombies. In fact, there's many different clear objectives. One is simple: kill zombies, survive, progress rounds. You get better as you play, compete for the leaderboards, and then you can also do the Easter egg. You can do speed runs for the Easter egg. You can do side Easter eggs, do challenges with how quick you can do them, etc. And then if you even look at other modes, you know, Onslaught, once again, it's the same clear objective as round-based, where you're just basically surviving rounds, and that's it though. And that's why it's a much more stripped back version of round-based essentially, and that's why people enjoyed it, due to how simple it was. And then we look at Outbreak. Again, there's very clear objectives with this mode. Once again, you can just do objectives over and over again to progress rounds, compete for high rounds, and that is it. And once again, your player gets better as you play. The other objective is, once again, there's two literal main Easter eggs in the mode. So once again, those are the two things you can do, and you can also do them over and over again, like I said, speedrunning them. Then we look at Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and there's only really one clear objective, and that is completing the acts. However, the first three acts are just basically made up of really mundane tasks, just doing basic things you would be doing in the mode anyways, but you can only do one of the missions at a time, so it's just really frustrating. So you're just being forced to do a billion different obscure, tedious tasks over and over again to make your way through the missions, and the only missions that really are interesting are the story ones, and the few and far between. And Act 4 only has one story mission. They'll be adding another one, of course, in Season 2 Reloaded, and probably will be getting a new story mission per season, but that is it. And the thing is, these are telling the post-launch story, and the story is interesting. I think the cutscenes we're getting in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and how it teases to COD 2024 and 2025 Zombies, both the past and the future, are awesome. That's definitely what I'm most engaged with, but that's pretty much the biggest drawing factor of this mode, how beautiful the cutscenes are and the engaging story that they tell, and that is it. The story missions are not replayable at all. They're not something you can really speedrun like an Easter egg, or at least in the same way. You also do have, you know, the mini Easter egg to re-enter the Dark Ether, but it's a one and done thing, and it's not the same really as doing a main quest. So Modern Warfare 3 Zombies literally has no point. It's a pointless filler mode, and that is it. It's literally just a 60-minute countdown, repeating the same goddamn thing over and over again. And I understand you can say the same about round-based, so you can say the same about Outbreak, you know, you're just circling, but there's just so much more variety with what you can do in those modes. And the thing is, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is a sandbox mode, because you have this big open world, and essentially you can play at your own discretion, but the problem is you're limited with any sort of clear objective to do. And this is why I think Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is just a dud mode and a filler mode. When Modern Warfare 3 Zombies first released, we had reports that it was the highest engaged co-op mode in any Modern Warfare game, and that makes sense because Spec Ops was the only other co-op modes in Modern Warfare games before, so it makes sense. Then we had a statement from Activision saying that they think it's the highest rated third mode in a decade. I don't think that's true, honestly, and even if it is true, I think it's largely in part due to it just kind of being a filler mode, because it was before Warzone released, and I think people mainly just use Modern Warfare 3 Zombies as a brainless mode that you don't really need to think much, to just kill zombies, rank up weapons, unlock camos, so that you can then use them in both multiplayer and Warzone. And I think that's what people were using the mode a lot for at launch. However, once Warzone released, people just went back to Warzone, or they went back to multiplayer and started using those things that they had ranked up. And that is it. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is good if you just don't really want to think much, you just want to kill some zombies. But beyond that, there's no point to the mode, and like I said, the biggest drawing factor was the schematic system, and it just falls apart so quickly. it is a gimmick. It's just a stupid RNG system that you forget about straight away as soon as you've gotten them all and realize that there's no actual point to do this. And the thing is, with Outbreak, it had the sandbox elements that Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has. You know, you could just chill and just kill zombies. Unfortunately, they wouldn't spawn indefinitely like Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, but I think that's what they should have done with the sequel to Outbreak. They should have made something that is infinitely survivable, unlike Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, where you can kill zombies indefinitely and still be able to progress rounds by completing contracts and still have a main Easter egg on the map, and that is all absent in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. It's too much sandbox. Outbreak had a good balance of clear objectives you can do, but also sandbox elements, and it merged the two well together, and it had flaws, don't get me wrong, but the sequel to Outbreak should have been a progression from what Outbreak was, and unfortunately, whilst Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has improved in many areas, such as way more zombies on the map, it's also decreased in many areas, and taken away a lot of what made Outbreak good the first time around, and we were expecting an advancement of that, and in some ways we've gotten it, but in many ways it's been worse, and that's why I prefer the original Outbreak, to be honest, and I wish we got a proper sequel to Outbreak, and I hope we do get that next year. And do you agree Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is a gimmick mode? I personally do. Do you think the schematic system is a gimmick? I personally do, and further proof of this is the fact that I think that round-based and even Outbreak stand on their legs without substantial updates. Yes, they get better with updates, but if a really good round-based map releases, people will play it over and over again, just grinding high rounds. They'll play it over and over again, doing the Easter egg over and over. They're not doing that for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. They're basically just being latched on by this gimmick system, the schematics. As soon as they realize it's a gimmick, they stop playing and get bored, don't want to just grind contracts over and over. Whilst it is important for round-based as well as Outbreak to receive consistent updates, I think it's more so the fact that Call of Duty Zombies has existed for, 10 plus years, way longer than that actually. So we've played round-based over and over again, and that's how games are nowadays. They need to be consistently updated because there's so many different games on the market now doing regular updates. There's so much more competition, that's why they need to constantly be engaging us. But Modern Warfare 3 Zombies literally depends on updates, and that's the difference between round-based. A good round-based map can last decades, in fact forever. People will do it over and over again. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies won't. It's going to be forgotten about. It's already being forgotten about so quickly because the mode is an entire gimmick just designed for short-term retention. People won't be playing it in years to come at all, and the problem is it's an online-only mode as well, so if the servers ever go offline, you can't play it like round-based, and also it's dependent on other players loading into your lobby. So, in a year when barely anyone's playing it, the player pool is going to be so small, you're probably not going to be able to find lobbies, and you're not even going to be able to play it. So yeah, the mode, it's a filler mode to carry us over to COD 2024. There's not much to it. Schematic system's a joke. The whole game's a joke. It should have never been made. Trek should have just focused on COD 2024. Too many cooks in the kitchen, too many developers giving input on this, and we're seeing proof that it's a gimmick due to the player base dropping off, due to the fact that they've not been able to retain support. And if a really good round-based map released on launch, yes, people would get bored of it, but people would still keep playing it if it's really good. The same can be said about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, because it's basically just a brainless filler mode to basically just rank up your weapons. Like I said, I think it's just mainly designed for Warzone players and multiplayer players to come over to Zombies and just kill some zombies without really thinking too much, and that's it. It's not really designed for Zombies players in mind that much, apart from that hook, which is the schematics, which just quickly falls apart when you realize it's just a gimmick. This mode is dependent on new stuff being added. Old Zombies with round-based isn't so much dependent on updates, although new stuff helps. People often mock round-based as just running around in circles over and over, which round-based certainly isn't only that, but regardless, this very simple repetitive formula has managed to survive almost 20 years and been successful. People clearly like doing this over and over without it needing to be a live service. However, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is dependent on live service, especially because it's online only with no proper solo. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies' formula will definitely not survive 20 years. There's not probably going to be a mode like it in 20 years, whereas round-based will probably still exist in 20 years. There's basically no point to the mode. In round-based, you can go for high rounds on the way you do side quests, ciphers, experience the atmosphere, do main Easter eggs, speed runs. You can grind liquid diviniums for gobblegums in Black Ops 3 or the other currencies in other games. You can unlock crystals in Cold War Zombies, for example, which was a long grind. The first tiers, of course, were very quick when the game first launched, but when they added the higher tiers later on, they actually took quite a while to unlock all of them. Whereas what is Modern Warfare 3 Zombies' point? Just doing these repetitive missions that once you're done with, you're never going to touch it again, and then there's the RNG to get the schematics again. Once you've gotten all of them, you're never really going to touch the game again, and you can barely even use any of them because of those long cooldowns and the fact that the stash is so limited, making the mode redundant. It's a completely redundant mode, unfortunately. And I think people were caught on by the gimmick at the start. That's why lots of people were praising it at the start, and lots of people liked it at the start. And as time has gone on, they've realized that this is just a flawed mode straight from the get-go, regardless of whether or not they managed to maintain maintain consistent updates. If the mode was always intended to never have a stash increase, these same problems would still be here even if there were regular updates. But anyways, I'm really rambling right now. I do apologize for that, so I hope I got my point across. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.